Most people think successful people are different because they're smarter, more confident, or somehow immune to fear. But that's not what the research shows. The biggest difference isn't talent or luck, it's behavior. Specifically, a small set of habits that compound over time. Today, I want to walk you through 5 things successful people consistently do, backed by evidence. And more importantly, behaviors you can start practicing immediately. Let's start with this truth. Success is rarely a single breakthrough moment. It's usually the quiet result of repeated decisions made when no one is watching. The first thing successful people do is they manage their attention, not just their time. We often hear about time management, but research in cognitive psychology shows that attention is the real bottleneck. Studies on cognitive load demonstrate that our brains have limited capacity for focused thinking. Successful people structure their environments to protect deep focus. They batch shallow tasks, reduce distractions, and intentionally create periods of uninterrupted work. This isn't about willpower. Research shows willpower is finite. Instead, they design systems, turning off notifications, setting boundaries, and working during their most cognitively alert hours. Productivity studies consistently show that focused work produces exponentially better outcomes than multitasking, which actually reduces efficiency and increases error rates. The second thing successful people do is they regulate their emotions instead of suppressing them. There's a big difference here. Emotional regulation means acknowledging emotions without letting them hijack decision making. Neuroscience research shows that when emotions are ignored or suppressed, they don't disappear, they intensify. Chronic emotional suppression is linked to increased stress, impaired memory, and poorer judgment. Successful people pause, name what they're feeling, and then choose how to respond. This aligns with evidence from emotion regulation models showing that awareness and reframing reduce stress hormones and improve cognitive flexibility. In other words, they don't deny fear or frustration, they manage it skillfully. The third thing successful people do is they think in experiments, not identities. Instead of saying, I'm bad at this, they say, this didn't work. What can I learn? Research on growth mindset shows that people who view skills as developable are more likely to persist, adapt, and improve performance over time. But what's less talked about is how this reduces shame. When outcomes are framed as data instead of personal failure, the nervous system stays regulated. Successful people run small experiments, gather feedback, and iterate. This approach is supported by learning science, which shows that feedback driven adjustment accelerates mastery far more than perfectionism ever could. The fourth thing successful people do is they invest in recovery as seriously as effort. This is one of the most overlooked habits. Research in occupational psychology and physiology shows that sustained performance depends on cycles of stress and recovery. Without recovery, cognitive performance declines, decision making becomes rigid, and burnout risk skyrockets. Successful people prioritize sleep, physical movement, and mental breaks, not as rewards, but as requirements. Sleep research alone shows that even modest sleep deprivation impairs executive function, emotional regulation, and memory consolidation. The most effective performers understand that rest is not laziness, it's a performance strategy. The fifth thing successful people do is they align their actions with values, not just goals. Goals are outcomes, values are drivers. Behavioral science shows that when actions are connected to personal values, motivation becomes more sustainable. This is called intrinsic motivation, and it's associated with higher persistence, satisfaction, and resilience. Successful people regularly reflect on why they're doing what they're doing. When challenges arise, and they always do, values provide stability when external validation or results fluctuate. This alignment reduces internal conflict and decision fatigue, making it easier to stay consistent over time. Here's what ties all 5 of these together. Successful people don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems, self-awareness, and alignment. They protect their attention because they understand how the brain works. They regulate emotions because they respect their nervous system. They learn from failure because they separate performance from identity. They recover intentionally because they value longevity over short bursts of output. And they act from values because that's what sustains momentum when motivation fades. Success isn't about becoming someone else. It's about consistently practicing behaviors that support clarity, resilience, and growth. And the best part? These are learnable skills. If you take nothing else away from this, remember this: the habits that look small today are often the ones shaping the outcomes you'll call success tomorrow. Grab my free leadership workbook, 5 Steps to Communicate with Calm, Clarity, and Confidence at powerofpeacefulness.com. Until next time, take a deep breath, embrace the present moment, and keep walking your path to peace.